morning. Thank you for starting your day with Good Day Charlotte.
All right, I am excited about this next segment. He is the founder and chairman of Amazon Herb Company. He's a businessman, rainforest conservationist, and a North Carolina native. He's also the husband of the one and only, you might have heard of her, Olivia Newton-John. Yes, we're talking about John Easterling, also known as Amazon John, with us this morning, along with one of our Good Day Charlotte friends you might know, Dr. Corinne Weaver. How are you, Dr. Weaver? Good to see you. This is your Uncle John.
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you, John. Welcome.
Great to meet you this morning.
You've been talking about him for so long, Corinne. I'm so glad you're here to kind of share what a journey you have been on. Let's just kind of go back to wherever you would like to start, John, where your life kind of made a switch, where you felt like you were unhealthy, possibly even dying, and you found really what nature had to provide, which changed your life. How did this come about? Yeah,
well, it did. I grew up in North Carolina, right here in Charlotte, as a matter of fact, and I went to school here at Garinger. I went to UNC in Charlotte and Western Carolina University, and graduated down in Wilmington. At that point, I sold my car and bought a ticket to Ecuador. I was intent on finding lost cities of gold and Inca treasure, so really being a treasure hunter. But I had hepatitis, Rocky Mountain spotted fever. I actually had a near-death experience at the hospital here in Charlotte. Wow. And coming back from that is about 60% of the energy flow. The doctors told me, hey, you're lucky to be alive, and that's good. And I accepted that and kind of went on. But my journey in the jungles in South America, I was dealing with tribal artifacts and monkey bones and a variety of things. And
you sound like a movie. You sound like Indiana Jones here, John.
Exactly. Well, I went through a whole episode of different kinds of treasure, from gemstones to pre-Columbian artifacts. And then working in the jungle, I would go down with these low-grade fevers left over from my health challenge, and they just boiled up some Moña de Gato, Chanca Piedra, Sangre de Drago, these botanicals, and gave them to me. I had no expectation of anything happening. I was eating grilled monkey paws and whatever else they were feeding me. Yeah, but what happened was, after a couple of days, everything shifted. I was more grounded, the mental acuity came back, and I felt as good as I did before I was sick. And even a couple of more days, I felt better than I'd ever felt in my life. And I thought, wait a minute, all these years I've been coming down, chopping this stuff down, and this is the real treasure. I got 100,000 species of plants growing in the Amazon. Only 3% have been studied, for the therapeutic value by Western medicine, yet almost 30% of our pharmaceuticals come from that. So it's a huge, gigantic natural pharmacy that can really, I think, address all of the degenerative issues that we're dealing with. So that started my career in plant medicine 34 years ago, and that continues.
That's unbelievable. And I know you're excited to share this story because you said for years, you growing up, you saw the results.
Right. He would bring in the herbs from the Amazon rainforest, and I couldn't breathe, and I was having asthma attacks. And I lived in this area. You know how bad asthma and allergies are. And he would make me a tea, and here I am with the kitchen towel breathing in all of these herbs that he would he would bring in. And I just felt so much better. And I was like, what is this stuff? Because I was on a steroid machine, like breathing in steroids every day, and I knew what he had was better, even as a small child. And I wanted more of it.
Well, we just had a story in our last block about the opioid crisis and how yesterday the mayor is trying to put together this plan of how we can lessen the number of opioid deaths here in North Carolina. So why are we so afraid, John, to try things that are maybe, I hate to use the word normal, but why are we so afraid to try things that are different?
Well, I think we ought to give just a real quick snapshot of history of our relationship with the plant kingdom. We've always, since we crawled out of a cave, we've been dependent on the plant kingdom for food, for medicine, for fiber. We build our houses out of plants. And we've had a relationship, for example, with cannabis for 4,000 years, a documented medicinal relationship. It goes back to Materia Medica in China. So it looks like cannabis originated in the Himalayas, but everywhere mankind moved, he took that with him because it was so important. And in fact, the early colonies in America, I think it was Virginia, Massachusetts, required every household to grow cannabis because of its value.
Boy, how times have changed.
Eli Lilly, they all had cannabis medications easily available over the counter. And so we've had 4,000 years of normal relationship with this plant. It's only been interrupted the last 80 years, and now we're re-engaging that relationship. like a tsunami moving across the planet. And the opioid crisis is a perfect example of that. For example, 1996, California was the first one to introduce a medicinal cannabis program. It was so successful it spread really quickly, in the western states. Colorado in 2012, went to a adult use. And so everyone was watching Colorado, expecting, uh-oh, here goes, the crime rate's going to go up, we're going to have all these issues. But in fact, what happened was the crime rate went down, opioid prescriptions went down 20%, opioid deaths went down 20%.
You can't
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, that's amazing.
You can't refute it. And the same thing has happened in every state that has gone, full adult use, meaning it's easily available. The prescription for anti-anxiety drugs, antidepressants, and opioids, which is killing, over 20,000 people a year just in America, and there's never been a death from cannabis.
Well, I know you and your other half, your better half, Olivia Newton-John, which I think we got a picture of the two of you guys, because you got married not too long ago, what?
10 years ago.
Okay, 10 years ago, and I know there we go, great shot of you two. She's also a wonderful ambassador for sharing this information as well. And before we run out of time, Dr. Weaver, if people, they might be skeptical, they may not be, but if they have questions, if they want to kind of dive into this, to just experiment to see how their life might change by getting into this world of CBD and cannabis, how do you recommend starting?
Really reach out to people that know.
Okay.
Reach
out to experts.
Yeah, reach out to experts.
Okay.
You don't have to do this alone.
Yeah.
Reach out to some people. There's enough research, there's enough doctors doing the work now. That you don't have to be scared, be fearful. If you are fearful, then that's when you need to reach out to someone that can help you.
I think that's wonderful. We're going to link all this on our website. You can watch this full interview again, and we'll have Dr. Corinne Weaver's information and John as well. And your story is fascinating. Thanks for coming on here. I really appreciate it. You're welcome anytime, and you can bring that other lady with you. If she ever stops by the Charlotte area.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this.